Hi, this is Julie from Love's Beginning, and the message I had today was one of about whenever tension comes up. And the invitation there was whenever tension comes up, this is your chance to either repeat old patterns or opt for the new, to allow the new to come to you and through you. Um, so, what does this mean? Let's say we feel the tension of a judgment. We're judging someone or something. And in this moment, we always have a great opportunity because each one of us is the conduit. We're all conduits for the new. But if we opt to, we can continue repeating the old with and amongst each other. We can keep cycling through these old patterns. It's our option. But it's also our option to release the old. And part of the old is the egoic identity, the sense of separate self control, the sense of being in charge as a separate entity, as an entity who must defend, who needs to be in charge, who could be vulnerable, who could be harmed. So the opportunity, let's say you're making a judgment of somebody, is to realize that you would not make a judgment of somebody if you weren't feeling defensive. You wouldn't make a judgment of yourself. You wouldn't feel inadequate or insecure if you weren't feeling defensive, if you didn't feel there was something you needed to maintain or defend. And this is your identity, this is your separate identity. So, whenever we feel tension coming up, um, and I'm being shown now, well, maybe we think the tension is with other people. So we're in a situation and we think two other people are having a problem, but we're not. We're outside of it, but we're still uncomfortable. So tension is coming up. So let's say we're in that situation. In that situation, what's being played out in front of us is a projection from deep in our minds. So there's still some disquiet in our mind if in our presence this thing, this drama, these actors are playing divine roles, can unfold in front of us, and it can elicit reactiveness from us, or a sense of anguish, or a sense that we need to defend against what is happening here. Something's wrong. So when that comes up, that is the separate egoic identity. That's the separate self. And in a sense, its head is on the chopping block. It's or its neck is vulnerable. It's exposing itself. And so that's good news, because when it's right up there at the surface, we can release it. And we always have assistance in releasing it. When I first started this video, I saw a large light go across the screen, and I don't know if it's going to show up in the final video. It will be cool if it does, but that's the type of assistance I'm talking about. Everybody is always surrounded by a non-physical team. And for me, it always takes the form of, I'm just shown kind of like balls of light. It's not even like they really have very separate personalities or need them or need names or anything. I always just feel like it's balls of light I'm communicating with. That's the best visual I can get. And so I did see this ball of light going across the screen as I started this video. But that's the type of help always available to us. That light presence, which is not other than what we are. We're just so used to seeing things as separate. It's not other than what we are at all. But to put it in our language, we're always surrounded by this team. And this team, its job is to assist us in transitioning, when we do transition from separate and vulnerable identity into shared identity. So, when the tension comes up, it's always the opportunity to accept the assistance of this team And there's nobody without one of these teams. So let's say two people in front of you are having a problem, and seemingly it's not your problem, it looks like theirs. Well, remember that they have their teams too. And one of the things we can do when that tension comes up and we're thinking something should be done, or I should try to fix it, or those two people should get their heads on straight and try to fix it. All of this fix it energy is coming from the idea that we as separate individuals have to struggle and triumph over challenge. But if you know of the assistance that always surrounds you, and it's an assistance that can, when you relax and allow it, can just change your perspective and give you ideas and assist you in flowing along. um, so if you know this, then you know that those other ones in your presence have their teams too. And if you have confidence that they will be able to, especially, this isn't exactly right, but it's the suggestion I'm being given so we can understand, okay? Especially in your presence, especially in the presence of one who knows of these teams, who knows of the assistance available to everybody. If you know that if they just take the merest breath, or notice a cloud floating by, or there are just these little cracks and crevices in our separate selves where this assistance can reach us. If you know that it's possible that those ones over there who seem to be other than you are arguing, but they have assistants surrounding them all the time, and just when they pause for a breath, it might hit them. It might hit them that things feel or look different. It might hit them that they just have a new idea about something. And that is emanation. And it's the most natural thing in the world. And it's what we're going to be doing more and more and more and more and more of. So we ought to get used to it. And again, I'm listening, like, this isn't exactly it, because when I say we do things or they do things, I'm acting as if there's separate volition, which would indicate a potential for conflict, but there really isn't. Like, the reality of everything, underneath the surface of the illusion of conflict we have chosen, the reality of everything is harmony. So even when those two are arguing over there, I'm on purpose giving an example of a conflict that looks to be outside of us. It's only the conflict we're experiencing between thinking, I am in this world filled with conflict and I'm part of it and I have to kind of fight to get through it. And then knowing in our inner being, actually, I am love, light, and harmony, and so is everybody else, and everything's really okay all the time. So there's that conflict we have going on, coming through the human form and coming to remember ourselves. So when we set down that conflict totally, completely, the best we can today, and then maybe totally, completely 2 minutes from now or tomorrow, we do our best. We let it be chipped away. Then what kind of populates itself outside of us looks very different. So everything is a projection of what we have going on inside. And we're not supposed to judge it, because judgment isn't a capability we have. As harmonic beings, we flow. We don't need to judge anything. We just flow. And so now don't think because I'm saying we just flow, like, as a human being, my life is nothing but flow. I'm still remembering and learning and getting my head on straight all the time. But I will say what I'm learning and feeling and experiencing regarding emanation it's come on me very gradually. And now I feel like I'm really getting it. It's fascinating. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And it only gives you more and more confidence in everybody else, not in their separate personhood, not in that, in their being, in the beautiful beings they all are, and in what can come through them. And when I'm shown that more and more, that whatever conflicts appear on the surface, whatever defects appear on the surface, whatever challenges appear on the surface, they're so thin and brittle, except when I'm feeling them as big, But this is the point of what I'm being told today. When I'm feeling stuff as big and really heavy and troublesome, I've really got myself turned around, perceptually speaking. And I can come back to this place of appreciating and knowing the value of emanation, of the ability we all have to just go within and let the love and light we are extend out from us. It's just a matter of focus. It's just a matter of knowing and allowing and having the confidence that when we do stop our, I don't want to say stop our thinking, because when we try to stop our thinking, sometimes the thoughts pile up. So when we consistently look through our thinking and allow it to subside, it'll eventually subside. It eventually does. Then we can have these moments where we really understand what's going on energetically. So the next time we maybe take a nosedive and feel enmeshed and stuck in the sense of conflict or heaviness, we will be able to return to that spot, just the spot, very easily and let it drain away, let it drain away. So when we're in a situation with others who might be experiencing tension, we can serve as, I'm listening, um, see my flow isn't quite smooth. We can serve as drains, um, like energetic drains of the tension, that of the misperception. But as we're activating that capability in ourselves, we are training. Okay, this is kind of new to me. It refers to what I was saying before about coding each other. And it might be like a very basic level example I'm being given because I can't understand anything else. So, it's a teaching model. Okay, so we're like coding or training or assisting the other beings. Let's not refer to them as people or even humans. Let's call them beings enacting these roles. We're silently, it has nothing to do with our conversations or actions, assisting them in learning how, no, remembering, remembering what emanation is. We don't learn anything. I use that language. Within this illusion, we appear to learn. That's part of the illusion we have going on here. As we really are, we don't. We're complete. We're complete, and there's no need to learn anything at all. You just, emanation is what happens. Harmony and blending. Boy, it's hard to say it. It is. It just is. And so, what's been going on beneath the surface of this drama, with all these beings participating in the human form, in the human characters, is that the entire time everyone's been emanating underneath. This isn't, I don't have like, it's not 100% accurate. I'm giving you the gist, okay? I can't, because of the way our perception is, I can't describe it exactly, but I'm getting at it and it's good enough. And it's never really about the words anyhow. So I'm trying, but underneath we've always been whole, connected, blended, emanating. That's never stopped. So when I say in a situation in which a conflict appears to be happening and we energetically assist and train others into the remembrance of emanation, it's a whole bunch of wordy gobbledygook, but maybe you can just feel what the reality of it is from what I just said. The point of it is that we're doing so much now as we let go of what we don't need and we allow what we are. We're doing so much without doing anything. Um, just being aware of our goodwill and our willingness to wait for inspiration and our willingness not to act from fear, our willingness to just have confidence in the beautiful beingness of all others. Forget what characters they're playing. I like be amused by the characters they're playing. Be um, look at their beautiful acting jobs. Look how perfectly they're carrying out the roles that they're playing right now. And if it's happening in this moment, it's perfect in a sense. It's perfect for how you resonate with them. And if you are resonating with them in conflict, it's the perfect moment for you to be able to release that conflict. When you release that conflict, let's say you're having a conflict with them, it might even just be insecure thoughts about your separate self in another person's presence. I mean, that happens to me often enough. Like, that's always a grand opportunity for me because when I'm able to see and release that conflict, then I'm releasing them from their roles too. So if they're playing a role that looks to be destructive or limiting or damaging to another or even themselves in some way, if in their presence I'm doing this work and releasing the conflict and allowing the corrective perception and just viewing their being, knowing how beautiful and harmonic they are, um, then oh, I got some what ifs and buts coming in. I have to sort that out. All right. If I'm doing that work and seeing the light they are, then I'm kind of snipping the ties to their actor's agreement. You know, they're released from that role. And that's how it's not about changing people. It's just about letting the drama go down the drain, letting everybody wake up to who they are, letting everybody wake up into their power and do amazing things. That's all it is. It's all good stuff. So the what ifs and the buts that were coming up while I was hearing the one thing was like, yeah, but what if you're in a situation where someone's, trampling all over you and it requires action and it, you don't want to be a doormat. And I'm just told it will be very clear. If you have to say no, you'll say no. There won't even seem to be another choice. Um, it will just be very clear when to take action, very clear, and you'll do it with no drama. But they're showing me like, okay, it's hard for me because everything's opposite. That's this much of your experience. The emanation bit, that's this much of your experience. So much you can do with emanation. Anytime you're thinking of somebody in a conflicted way, if you're able to remember to come back to yourself and to know who you are and they are, and allow the conflict to release down the drain and allow yourself to emerge from your role of conflict and know that you're allowing them to emerge from any tension they might feel in regard to you. It's just very, very beautiful work. And it's done when we're with people, when we're thinking of people in all sorts of ways. So it's no small thing, as I'm always told, the littlest things, you're just sitting there seemingly doing nothing, are the biggest things. And they're very, very beautiful. So I hope that Bright Sun made some sense to you and enjoy your day.